I'm going to talk about cancel culture here with our friend Joe. I think that whatever popularity you get, whatever mass of followers you attract, there will be a bunch of haters, a bunch of critical, a bunch of crazy people in there. And moreover, uh, I think that once people see the success that some people have monetarily or subscriber wise, I think people will start to amass, be jealous, and they will just amass together to feel that feeling of jealousy and like, yeah, I feel like that too. I feel that this guy's an asshole and makes a bunch of money, and so I don't think really it's about disinformation. Obviously, this COVID topic is sensitive. The media amplifies it. It's like 10x, 100x, if not 1,000x, than what it should be. Um, and then Joe talks about it. He rides the wave, and I do believe him. Obviously, Joe's a war machine too. He made a nice PR masterclass in responding to the criticism. But I do think that this is an overreaction. I also think it's the world we live in. The cancel culture. The cancel culture is like, yeah, you're better than me. You don't feel my pain. Now I'm gonna put it in your face, right? It's like you're there. I'm here, um, and I'm not happy about it. That's mostly what it is. Because I mean, a discussion, guys, is based on people asking questions. Respecting one another. It's not about like let's cancel him out, let's put him down. That's not what the discussion's about. That's what the discussion has become, especially in America. There's huge divisions going on. Thanks we thanks to uh, like these people that talk very loud and are masters at marketing and PR, like Mr. Trump. Um, yeah, obviously you need to pay the price now. You've elected someone that has gone to the extreme, someone that brainwashed you. You've paid media, you've paid attention to media. Like media duped you. Um, a bunch of Occupy Wall Street people would say that, yeah, it's companies. It's companies that did that. It's companies that taught Trump these skills. It's companies that profited from making this crisis what it is right now. But cancel cultures isn't certainly gonna help anything. Sure, like make statements and like ignite the debate and stay as scientific and impartial as possible, as objective as possible. Can you see your side, but can you also see the other? But don't put someone down. Don't silence someone. Don't force silence someone. Um, no, that's probably worse than imprisoning someone. It's someone's livelihood. It's someone that obviously impacted a bunch of people positively. Um, and somehow yesterday I checked a tabloid here, Time, on Scribd, the making of a whistleblower, and then I've seen this that was in 2002, and again another media company. Um, I feel irritation with checking, how the media companies are going. I think that CNN kind of started the trend, and then it was like an obligation then to follow up. But like I can't help but feeling a sentiment of anger when I look, these magazines promoting, these people. Um, I mean, we need whistleblower, and we need to whistleblowers to, and we need to invite them to a debate. But again, being a whistleblower is not really debating. It's really trying to silence someone. It's like, yeah, this is what happening. Fuck him and look at me. There's obviously external reasons to being a whistleblowers. Yeah, Enron and all of that. But even Enron, for example, like we know that most stock listed companies, most of them are bubble. Most investments are bubbles, and the reality never materialize until a while. It takes a while, to make a vision happen. So that's the state of things. I think a lot of information is hidden from plain sight. I also think that whistleblowers an extreme act. It's an act of violence. It's an act of betrayal. Just like the cancel culture, it's like let's ostracize these people from the tribe. This is a bit extreme. I think there should be more conversations. Obviously, can be hard to discuss these things internally, and obviously, I don't know like the full story of these guys, these people, but I certainly don't have much respect for someone that was paid by a business and then just profits from getting out. I also don't have respect for a person that doesn't have respect for themselves. Like that person, Frances Augen, whatever her name is, um, decided to have a shitty life. That was a decision, and probably she was in lots of pain to accept that. I think I listened to a couple of interviews, but whistleblowing, the way it is done, is not the way, nor is um, journalists attacking companies senselessly. I think we need to come up with a better version of things, and I'm not even saying that there's a better version out there, but I think we need to reopen the conversation to change, reopen the conversation to making businesses better, reopen the conversation to find a better solution for these mostly societal topic, to resurface and to shine a better light on them without being extreme and without being violent, because you know like France, for example, obviously there's so much at play here, so much to talk about. But for example, if she makes the Facebook stock crash, it will affect millions negatively. um, is Facebook evil? I don't think so. Is Facebook taking risks and kind of putting ethics aside? Probably, like most companies, just that this one's bigger. Um, I certainly don't think that going to the journalists, which are, in my opinion, 5-10 times worse than Facebook, ethically speaking, and blowing the whistle. I don't think that's a solution. Nor is cancel culture. Now, what shape, what form would that take? I'm not a strong believer in government intervention. Um, I think the movement is already going on. I think that Zuck is already more conscious. Of what he did. And yes, we kind of need these people to signal in some shape or form. I'm just saying it could be done in a better way. Because would Zuck be aware of that? Um, I think that Sheryl Sandberg kind of gave him a bit more consciousness. Um, and if we talk about our friend Joe for 2 seconds here, on his side, I don't think Joe is on a campaign to spread disinformation. Um, I think that he has a very big, deep, and wide brain. This guy is very smart. He speaks to a lot of people. He does have opinion, and he does play the extreme sometimes. So he kind of ate his own medicine. So did Zuck. So I'm not 100% defending them as well. Probably 90% defending them or 80% defending them, as a fellow entrepreneur. Um, Joe, I do think that he sometimes, his nature is being a humorist. He needs to make people react. So sometimes I think he'll go to extremes, and obviously he'll voice out his opinion. Maybe he could um, put a disclaimer here and there, and the fact check is a good idea. I think Facebook adopted it. And again, I don't think that. I think that Facebook is in way deeper water than Joe right now. Well, in a time wise type of thing, like Facebook will continue suffering the heat even if they rebranded as Meta. Now, what shape and form would that take? Well, I think that naturally, as a business is full of humans. Obviously, the culture will attract like more of one type of humans. I think that Zuck has a great brain and has seen more than most of us too. Um, so I would trust kind of his judgment naturally without making things move too much, because there's other factors at play, and obviously they're all of these folks are playing the game, which implies that there's money inside it, there's a capitalist system. But I also think that most of these big players, they play for a greater purpose. They play for humanity. um, Zuck for sure, Joe Rogan for sure. And like, I think we should trust a bit more in this free market. I also think that obviously they should have these committees to make sure that they are in check, and that everything goes on without um, any problem, that their actions and their apps don't affect the world negatively. I think they already do. But yeah, maybe a bit more budget researching and testing out things. Facebook, that's surely what they did. And yeah, Joe might have to, and Spotify, because they're a team, right? And obviously Joe has some incentives and Spotify has some incentives, so I think they're gonna have this little fact check thing. That that being said, my main point here, and I've been kind of whirling and twirling around, but canceling won't is not the best way to have someone change. It creates frustration when you cancel, creates fear, creates uncertainty, which are not emotions that are abundant and generate great results. um, Sure, like, sometimes you're being punched in the face, and then yeah, take a couple of months, couple of years to assimilate, and you'll finally get a lesson out of it. But I think a positive conversation, a constructive conversation, is is better. It always comes back to the positive conditioning vs the punishment, which is rampant in our society. Yeah, tired of punishment. I don't believe in death sentence and jail. I think these are a bit extreme. I do believe in rehabilitation, more of a positive conditioning. That's why cancel culture is not in my tastes of preference, for sure. I think that you know these guys. I mean, during his podcast, Joe has a bunch of nice and interesting conversations, and he certainly talks about these things. So his brain kind of flows with it. I think it's just the result, of people grouping together and saying, "Let's fuck this guy up." It's not like enough. It's just like let's fuck this guy up, and they're in fear, they're in anger. They put that in onto others. Um, just like the the Reddit Wall Street bets group. Like, people can now come together for these cool reasons, but they also have more power to come together for these stupid reasons, and that's when it's dangerous. Nonetheless, I mean, this video has been kind of left and right, but I do think that also people having power and being able to express themselves is good. I value freedom of speech pretty much over everything. Yet I do think that when you express yourself, it kind of needs, just like them. If you just say cancel Joe Rogan, that's incomplete. Just like incomplete COVID facts. But if you say, hey Joe, like, this is what you could change, tack 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 tack, and put him a list, and not just fuck this guy, he's rich, I'm not, I'm gonna bring him to the ground. Um, Come with constructive suggestions, add value to the conversation. That's how you're gonna make change, not on canceling people and or whistleblowing.